Our senior reporter, Rita Tinina, there joining us live from our city centre studios. They definitely will be going back to the airport, as she says, to see if this time round, they will be able to access it. But let's now speak to the spokesperson at the Interior Ministry, Mwenda Njoka, now joining us live by way of phone. A very good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us here on KTN News. Just picking up from the conversation with our senior reporter, Rita Tinina, journalists have been denied access at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Why is that?
The requirement for entry of the airport, the requirement is that you go to the airport when you are traveling. The entry of journalists to the airport is not a requirement at all times. It is something that is either given or denied.
Well, this is not the first time journalists have had to cover something that is happening at the airport. The entire evening yesterday, journalists were there. What is happening that this time round journalists can't cover the airport?
Actually, even yesterday was an anomaly. There shouldn't have been a live coverage. It was an anomaly that shouldn't have happened.
This is an issue of public interest.
It is a security area that requires specific clearance to cover.
But this is an issue of public interest, with all due respect.
Yeah, but there's also a tendency when people see cameras, they tend to behave in a different way, and the situation gets out of hand.
So what you're saying is things blow up out of proportion when journalists are involved?
You put it very correctly.
So then what is happening with Miguna Miguna? Why are we seeing what we have been seeing since yesterday when the plane was in touchdown?
Let me give you a breakdown of what has happened. This morning, the Department of Immigration issued a statement explaining what has happened, and then at the same time, the department indicated clearly that they have dispatched an officer to the immigration, to JKIA to go and take the necessary documents to Miguna Miguna to fill so that it could be issued or we could process his application for a new passport for citizenship. When that was done, it was done in the presence of a Canadian consular and an officer from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, plus our officer in charge of citizenship and a lawyer. Miguna Miguna took those documents and told them how he's supposed to deal with somebody when he behaves in such an unruly manner.
Yes. So then we understand that currently officers from the Department of Immigration are at the airport trying to give him documents meant to, according to them, regularize his citizenship.
Yes, let me explain why this is necessary. From the time he had applied, from the time he held the other passport, we don't know whether his particulars are still the same. We don't know whether he still goes by the same name. We also don't know whether he's still married or he's not married. There are many particulars that you need to capture when somebody is applying for a fresh passport or citizenship. That is what we need, and that is the requirement by law. So as a lawyer, as an officer of the court, he should comply with the law. It's very basic.
So are we then saying that until now, when we're trying to have him regularize his citizenship, Miguna Miguna is not a citizen of the Republic of Kenya?
You put it well, that is so.
The court had also ruled that Miguna Miguna travel should be necessitated or facilitated back into the country if this is something that needed to have been done. And the government, let me just ask this question. The government was well aware that Miguna will be landing yesterday. If this was really necessary, why wasn't it done yesterday when he touched down?
Linda, let me explain to you. Yesterday when he arrived, the requirement by law and by IATA regulations, that's International Air Transport Association, is that when you land into a country, you present the document that you traveled in, it's stamped and you are processed. The law doesn't change just because there's Miguna Miguna who is coming into the country. He was asked to do that. He didn't. He didn't present the document that he traveled in. The basic requirement is for everybody, whether you are a citizen or not. Even you, if you travel, you are required to present your passport for processing. Miguna is not special. So he did do that, and that is what led to the stalemate that happened yesterday.
But this is
that is why there was an attempt to take him back to the port through which he came. Now, that is the way the law operates. That is the way international regulations for travel require.
This is a passport that Miguna Miguna had way before he was deported to Canada. It was reported as well that his passport was defaced and tampered with. The courts were very categorical that his passport should have been returned to him. I mean, What happened? Did we just break the law on this, or did we just refuse to follow the court?
Court did not waive the requirement for citizenship. They say that he should be granted his citizenship, and we are willing to do that. We was given the forms to fill and do the necessary. What is so difficult about that?
Why was his passport tampered with?
Well, at that point in time, we are very clear. When he got Canadian citizenship in 1998, it was not legal for somebody to hold dual citizenship. That was the law. It's not as we are making it. When the new constitution came into force in 2010, the requirement was that those who held dual citizenship would surrender, would come and apply afresh and say, I hand a dual citizenship, so that you are able to reconcile the records. He never did that. Many other Kenyans did that, and the matter was resolved. Miguna is not special that he should be treated differently.
From where you sit, do you think the government is in contempt of court orders? Because this is a pattern is seemingly being established here.
No, leader, the government is not in contempt of court. If you were, we would not be processing him. We would not even have required. We would have denied him entry, which we've not done. We said, bring the documents you traveled in. If he had given his passport yesterday, Miguna would be in the country, and the rest will be history, will be processing. But being a drama queen that he is, he had to do all that he did at the airport to attract the media. That is all that he wanted.
All right, finally, just before I let you go, quickly, we've just spoken to James Orengo. He's a senior lawyer for Miguna Miguna. He says they haven't been allowed to see Miguna Miguna. They have been at the airport since 9 a.m. This morning. He also says that they need to go through the documents that those from the immigration department are giving him. Why are his lawyers not allowed to see him when he's going such a crucial process with officers from the immigration department?
Well, I'm not at the airport myself right now. I don't know what is the situation, whether they've been allowed. But going by the